The GOTV features require onboarding a lot of volunteer users, so we'll go to Administration Volunteer Configuration to set up the default settings for these new users. Change the expiration date. I'll change that default. The level you'll want to assign them is usually going to be level 0. That gives them very limited access, only to what you, only the list you give them access to. And then we can set a welcome message here, which is where you can list instructions, specific instructions for them of what they'll be doing. And you can see the welcome email that goes out to them. That includes your custom message there. We don't need to do anything else here, so let's just click Save and Exit. Now let's start adding members by going to our response tag for Adopt a Voter. And these are all the people that indicate they're willing to do Adopt a Voter. We'll click into the first one here. We'll go to the Volunteer tab, and hopefully we'll have collected her email address when we were at the door, because every user does need to have an email address. So let's just enter that in. If we don't have it, click Save. Now we can click the Send Login Credentials button. That will set her up as a user with the default settings we added in the configuration and send her that message. And then we click to activate her Adopt a Voter. Click Map View to assign her voters to the watch list. The default view comes up showing all Republican houses, so you click that target icon in the top to specify only the targeted voters. Then click on each marker, and then click on the voter to assign them to her watch list. She's that yellow star in the middle, so you can see her house. Some other features of this map view, you can change it to show every house, and then you can see the voter parties that are registered at the house. You can also just filter it to all Republican houses. Now that we've processed her, we can remove her from the Adopt a Voter tag. Once this list refreshes, she will no longer be on it. So now let's go to the next person. We'll set him up as a volunteer user. Again, we need to add his email address, and then we'll send him the credentials, again, that use those default user settings from the volunteer page. But this time we're going to assign him voters using a different method. So after he's activated for the Adopt a Voter program, let's go over to his voter info page, and we'll say target houses near the voter. That puts us over on this page. We can specify that we only want to target his neighborhood, and it shows us 1,229. That's the total number of voters, but we know based on our targeted voters, that's going to be about 10% of that number. So we're going to come through targeting now, say we only want targeted GOTV voters. And then we're going to say add those to his watch list. And that's a quick way to add a bunch of voters to somebody's watch list. So when we go over to the GOTV administration section, we can see those two that we've set up. We can click on their map. We can change the map view. Maybe we can turn off the pie graph. It makes it a little easier to see those that we've assigned. So Richard's are all the green ones. We can see Diane's were down here, the yellow ones below it. So when you get to this map view, you can kind of see as you've been assigning voters to different watch lists. We can change back to indicate the pie graph markers. So just some different tools on this map view. If you want to assign somebody that's not a targeted voter, you can still do that. You just click on their marker and then assign it. You can see a volunteer's watch list. This is the same view they'll see when they log into the system. In this case, it shows all the voters as not voted yet because we haven't started the vote by mail and early voting yet, so nobody has had the chance to vote. You can change the option to show their contact details. As people vote, they'll start moving into the other sections there, the vote by mail and the voted section. Let's see what it looks like from the volunteer side of things. This will be the email they receive from the REC once you set them up as a user. Then they'll have the opportunity to log into the system. They'll need to change their password. I can see that some of this can be simplified, so hopefully this will be a bit easier when it gets closer to election time. Once they're logged in, they can easily use the mobile view here on their phone to see their list of voters. They can download the CSV file, because a lot of people will just actually process the list on their own and just use this access to view the status of the voters, and then they can just scratch them off their list as they see they've moved to voted.